you're here. It appears everyone has arrived. Last night, I visited a former servant who once worked for my family. I was able to learn the entirety of what happened all those years ago. In my great-grandfather's generation, the Ishin art was tasked with forging an important Goshinto according to an ancient forging diagram. Though all the craftsmen involved were very experienced, the process was still unsuccessful. Every blade that was forged was defective. When the deadline came, the blade still wasn't finished, so the craftsmen all fled and hid for fear of punishment. The Kaedahara clan and Yashiro Commission then conducted an investigation. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan eventually tracked down the craftsmen near the seaside. However, they met fierce resistance from the craftsmen, and in the end they were unable to prevent them from escaping by sea. The Kaedahara clan was severely punished for the swordsmiths that had escaped, and the family gradually fell into decline. Moreover, I heard that the head of the Kamisato clan was injured by the fleeing swordsmiths, which combined with his advanced age caused him to pass away shortly thereafter.
Yes. The sudden passing of the family head left the Kamisato clan leaderless. Treacherous people took advantage of the situation and put the family's status in the Yashiro Commission at jeopardy. This single incident had profound effects. Even after the position as head of the clan was passed to my father, the Kamisato clan still wasn't able to regain its prior reputation. But, thanks to my brother, everything is getting better now.
The failure to forge the blade was ultimately attributed to a lack of required skill and finesse. The Kaedahara clan and the Yashiro Commission always believed that was the case. However, the story of the 5 Kasen seems to imply that the failure didn't stem from a lack of skill, but rather, the diagram had been tampered with by someone. Miss Kamisato, I heard yesterday that the Yashiro Commission has still kept the diagram ever since the failed forging all those years ago. Might I ask you to do me a favor?
Yes, I understand. I will go back and search for the diagram. Please come meet me at the Kamisato estate later. Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain. Take flight! My apologies! Take flight! Everyone, I've managed to find the old diagram.
Though the diagram is well preserved, you can still tell that it's seen at least 3 or 4 centuries of history.
Whoa, that's pretty old. Is it still possible to find any evidence of tampering?
At this point, we can only try our...
Although the effect is not too obvious, you can still see that some words have now started to smudge. Kazuha, this is clear evidence that this chart was indeed tampered with. Someone framed the Kaedehara clan all those years ago.
I see. But I fear that I've discovered this secret too late. When my grandfather was young, he proposed reviving the Ishin art many times to my great-grandfather. But my grandfather was only scolded for being too foolhardy. Yesterday, the former family servant said that my great-grandfather even went to the Yashiro Commission to request that diagram from the head of the Kamisato clan. Sure enough, my grandfather also failed. My great-grandfather then told him, "If you can't find this..." My grandfather left Inazuma in a rage after hearing those words. He didn't ever see my great-grandfather. Looking back at it now, the argument between the two of them was simply meaningless.
Oh, Kazuha.
I heard that your great-grandfather was very industrious when he was young, but later in life, he no longer bothered with the forging arts. It appears that his failure took quite a toll on him.
Kazuha, did your great-grandfather really say, "If you can't find the secret within"? Did he use those exact words?
Yes. The servant said that my grandfather was so angry at the time that he smashed my great-grandfather's cherished bonsai tree.
Yes, it appears that you and Kazuha, if your great-grandfather thought that the Ishin art lacked finesse, then after witnessing his son's failure, wouldn't he have said something more along the lines of, "Your skills aren't sufficient"? But instead he said, "If you can't find the secret within." Don't you find that a little strange?
Huh? Oh, so you're saying my great-grandfather may have very well...
Yes. The current evidence suggests that is...
I apologize, but would you... After I became a wanted criminal, I want to inquire about the whereabouts of those belongings. If I can find them, we might be able to get some clues.
All right, let's get moving.
What are you all doing here? Did something happen on Rito?
Kujo Sara. Perhaps you still remember me.
Yes, I do. You're Kaedehara Kazuha, a wanted criminal during the Vision Hunt decree. However, your arrest warrant has since been repealed.
Sarah, we'd like to ask about the Kaedehara clan's property that was seized by the Tenryo Commission. Do you know where all their belongings are now?
Yes, the items seized at that time are currently stored in the warehouse next to the police station. Since Kaedehara has come back to Inazuma, those items should be returned to their rightful owner.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand. I'm not here to reclaim those belongings. I just want to investigate them for a personal matter.
I see. All right,
Thank you, Sarah!
Kaedehara, about the Vision Hunt decree.
That's all in the past now, Kujo-Sara. There's no need to mention it again. I know you've also had your own convictions and struggles. However, may I ask something of you?
Yes? What?
Currently, I have no plans to stay in Inazuma. As a result, those items from my family's estate are of no use to me. Madam Kujo, I believe you are a person of integrity. After our investigation is over, I'd like to ask if you can handle those belongings for me. Please, sell them, and use the money to help the poor.
All right, I understand. I'll be sure to take care of it.
The defenses on the left side of the tower need to...
Ah, you must be here to investigate the Kaedehara clan's belongings. Well, Madame Kujo's already informed me of the situation. Please. The Kaedehara. However, I have clearly... I'll be waiting for you at the door. Please, come see me if you're...
Kazuha, since the items are scattered throughout the building,
Yes, sounds like a plan. Thanks for your help, everyone. I'll be checking around here. You and the others can start looking elsewhere.
Oh, it's you.
Whoa, this folding's...
Yes. Perhaps if it were better maintained, then it could fetch a decent price. I was taking a closer look just now and noticed a large piece of dirt caught in the fabric fibers on the back side. The soil is deeply embedded into the cloth. That means a great deal of force was used when the dirt was lodged into the cloth. It's likely that this patch of dirt is from the very flower pot thrown by Kazuha's grandfather. Because this is not what we're looking for. Let me think.
Albedo seems to be thinking... What did you find, Shinjo?
I found quite the pile of old books. These books here are all related to smelting steel, and these are about the process of forging.
The book's about plants...
I skimmed through them just now, but I didn't find...
There must be some around. Do you see all these pots here? Some of them are bound to have liquor inside, right?
Hey! Everyone else is trying hard to help, and you're over here looking for a drink!
I merely jest, of course.
Well, Paimon doesn't really get why Kazuha told Sara. What if we don't end up finding anything today? Then wouldn't Kazuha lose?
I know you are worried about Kazuha, but if you ask me, he is stronger than you think. Since Kazuha made such a request to Sara, that indicates he's already made his choice. Whether we find out the truth or not today, no, not intuition. Rather, I've lived for... Leave the things here to me. You two can look around elsewhere.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, since the Kaidahara clan was a family...
I'm afraid not. Although the sword rack is made of fine wood, the swords placed here appear to be quite ordinary. Due to the dire financial situation of the late Kaidahara clan, everything of the blade on the sword hasn't been sharpened, but there are many signs of use on the hilt. Perhaps Kaidahara used it for training as a child.
Let Paimon see! Oh, there seems to be a couple uneven characters etched into the scabbard. Kazu-ha. Wow, so it really was Kazuha's! Paimon can imagine what Kazuha was like as a kid.
I will continue investigating here and call you if I find anything interesting.
Everyone, I've found something that you should all have a look at.
Oh, seems Kazuha discovered something. Let's go see what he's got.
This flower pot was in my house for a long time. I heard that it was left behind.
Yeah, the plants seem to have been...
Well, after my great-grandfather stopped studying the forging arts, he picked up the hobby of keeping bonsai plants. But he specifically left behind this dead plant at the time, and even instructed my grandfather not to throw it away in his will. My grandfather deeply regretted that he never managed to reconcile with my great-grandfather, so he left the plant exactly as it was. But now that I think about it,
Now that you mention,
yes.
we finally found something! Huh? Do you think someone already...
No, I do not think that is the case here. See the paper? It's...
You mean to say that these sheets...
Yes, I agree with this hypothesis.
Okay, let's...
There is a pond outside the police station.
Well, how did it go? Those weren't just plain old sheets of paper, were they?
Just as everyone guessed, after I sprinkled some water onto the paper, writing did indeed begin to appear on it. It is a letter, written by my great-grandfather.
Oh? What does the letter say?
It is. I'll tell you what my great-grandfather knew at the time, but everyone, please...
Kaedehara, why did you lead us to this beach?
It is. In fact, my great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan tracked the fleeing swordsmiths to this very location. Our hypothesis was correct. My great-grandfather was well aware of the truth behind the defective blade. It reads, "To whoever reads this letter, I, Kaedehara Yoshinori, have been all those years ago, when I was pursuing the swordsmiths alongside Commissioner Kamisato of the Yashiro Commission. I was not injured by one of the fleeing smiths. Rather,
It was night, and after the clues led us down to shore, I waited for the culprits to show themselves. However, there were no swordsmiths in sight, only a single eccentric stranger. This stranger claimed to be the one behind the failed forgings, and said that he had been patiently waiting for us. He then threatened to destroy the Raiden Gokaden. That person was of able body, and in a blink of an eye, myself and the accompanying samurai had been defeated. Commissioner Kamisato was severely wounded, and I barely escaped death myself. My hat had fortunately blunted a blow to my head. The unusual stranger could have easily claimed my life at that moment, but after noticing my appearance, he stopped his attacks and sternly asked if I had any connection with the name Niwa. I answered that it was my father's surname, and after my father disappeared, I was adopted by the Kaedehara family. Upon hearing my answer, the stranger paused. After a long silence, he suddenly said, "Tell her this. My name is Kunikuzushi." He then turned and left.
Wow. So that's what really happened.
yes. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan escaped from death and learned that the forging diagram had been tampered with by Kunikuzushi. However, due to the encounter, the head of the Kamisato clan was worried that my great-grandfather would be falsely accused of being involved with the perpetrator because the perpetrator said he would destroy the Raiden Gokaden. My great-grandfather worried that the perpetrator would still... He said, "As the leader of the Kaedehara clan, I am deeply ashamed to witness the decline of the Ishin art. But as a father, it is my priority to ensure the safety..." Yes, that's right. If my grandpa had somehow discovered the secret behind the tent, unfortunately, Miss Kamisato, it appears you were unaware of the happenings that my great-grandfather described here. What are your thoughts?
I suppose the reason the head of the Kamisato house never spoke of this to the family was due to similar safety concerns. If the perpetrator was capable of tampering with even the Shogun's diagrams, and could single-handedly defeat many men, I will discuss this matter with Brother shortly, and investigate the identity behind the one called Kunikuzushi. Rest assured, we will act cautiously.
To be honest, as I read the letter, I felt much turbulence in my heart. But now I've managed to calm myself. My great-grandfather said in the letter that he did not wish his descendants to... Though he was in a tight situation when he wrote these words, I feel like they are still valid nonetheless. I think what's most important for each person is not the past, but the present. Even though we must carry the burdens from the past, there are also things we wish to strive for. Therefore, knowing the truth behind what happened is enough for me. I will live on just as my great-grandfather had hoped. That being said, if the enemy from all those years ago is still lurking and plotting to stir up more trouble, then I definitely won't turn a blind eye. These are simply insights I've gathered from all that I've experienced. Thank you all for accompanying me in my search for the truth behind that incident.
Great! Now that we're done here, let's head back to Rito.
What a nice surprise meeting you guys here. Well, since the Yashiro...
And you are the housekeeper extraordinaire of the Kamisato clan. You're quite the celebrity yourself, you know.
Well, I'm flat.
Whoa.
I didn't expect to run into both Ito and the... Speaking of which...
It's all Ito. He...
No, it's no big...
Oh, in that case, then you can both...
Volunteering. I give this idea...
Boss means...
Also, since it's on second thought...
Wait a s...
Oh, it's just...
Boss! If we take this gig... Oh, so, if there's one thing... It's an awesome... Traveler, let's do this for...
You didn't seem too interested in...
Hey, this is the mighty...
AKA.
If it's decided, the volunteer work is... I will assign some job if you're ready.
Paimonsi! Okay, our first job is to help a busy vendor.
Are you the volunteer? As you can see, I've just been so... Can you help me clean up the...
Windblade. Here we go.
Please, get in line over here.
You're finished already? You're wonderful
Let's see. Our next job is
for selling it, but I can you help me?
So big?
Please, get in line over here.
Thanks for your support.
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Great! Thanks, miss.
Okay, one last job. We need to help move some goods at the port. Let's go.
Please, get in line over here.
Why do things have to be this way?
I'm not used to it.
Are you the festival volunteer? Great. But I have to get all the. Can you please help me take it?
You must be tired. I heard the Yash soy milk is actually, in fact, the.
What? Ito won't be able to hurry. We've got.
If you're tired from walking
Lord Kusanali.
What took? So there you have it. When you lose, I behold the drink of champions, created by Sailing Breeze in collab. Woo! All this talk's making me thirsty. Don't mind if I do. Drink of champions, it's time to come home. Ah, woo! That's the good stuff. That was a mighty fine drink.
Boss, they said they think there might be, beans in the.
Huh?
Quick, get him to a doc.
What's wrong? Can't.
He's allergic to.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. I didn't leave Ito to me. Don't worry.
So, I'm so sorry. If you don't mind, I could see that you're please accepted.
Today is the final stage of the Iridori Festival. Not only will there be Shincho's signing event, but Albedo's painting of Kuranushi will also be unveiled.